Did you know that R. Kelly might end up with a decades-long prison sentence after being convicted of several crimes in 2021? The singer and performer has led a troubled and troubling existence since garnering fame and fortune for his many hit songs. But in more recent years, R. Kelly's legacy has shifted from that of a talented singer to an abuser of minors and a sex trafficker. It's another sad story of a notorious celebrity who used their power and fame to harm others. And it's now looking like he'll finally be paying for his crimes with time in federal prison. Stick around, as Factsverse presents the details of R. Kelly facing decades in prison. The convictions. In September of 2021, singer R. Kelly was convicted on 9 counts in total, including charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. His sex trafficking convictions were part of his violations of what's known as the Mann Act. The prosecution convinced the court that Kelly had essentially a team of people who worked for him, luring in young women, boys, and girls to satisfy Kelly's sexual needs. The trial lasted for 5 weeks, and the case against Kelly was solidified after several witnesses testified of the abuse Kelly had perpetrated against them. These damning stories were then corroborated by some of the people working for Kelly who admitted to arranging sexual meetups and situations with the witnesses. In particular, Kelly's handlers admitted to helping arrange his marriage to singer Aaliyah in 1994, who was only 15 at the time. Kelly reportedly convinced her she was pregnant with his child and coerced her into marrying him. Since the convictions. Since being convicted on the 9 counts in 2021, R. Kelly has been awaiting sentencing inside a Brooklyn-based federal detention center. After the sentence is passed down, however, he won't go directly to serving it there. That's because he's also in the middle of a trial in Chicago, where he's facing charges of child pornography and obstruction. Kelly has also recently fired his legal team and replaced them with a new one, Jennifer Bongine. Bongine is notably the attorney who recently aided Bill Cosby in getting a sexual assault conviction overturned. She was also Cosby's lawyer in a civil case that the disgraced comedian lost. Kelly hopes that the presence of his new legal team will help persuade the sentencing judge to give him a more lenient sentence. Though history has shown that with instances of the Mann Act violations, judges are less likely to reduce a sentence. In fact, they tend to increase the sentence if anything, so it remains to be seen in what direction R. Kelly's sentencing judge will go. Before we tell you more, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Trender if you haven't already. R. Kelly's defense. The prosecution in R. Kelly's trial have asked the judge not to be lenient on the convicted singer. They pointed out the need to protect the public from any more harm that Kelly could inflict, and asked for the sentence to thus be more than 25 years. His own lawyers have countered, saying that since he's 55 years old already, a sentence of that length would basically mean life in prison. They are pushing for something in the 10-year range. This is also, in large part, because of what they say are traumatic events from Kelly's own childhood that had a huge effect on the singer's adult behavior. R. Kelly's childhood trauma. Over the course of R. Kelly's trial, he was interviewed for more than 14 hours by psychiatrists in the hopes of getting at any core reasons why he might have acted so horrifically. Kelly revealed to them a fairly traumatic childhood. He told them about the death of his beloved mother, which he referred to as the most tragic event of his life. Kelly never knew his father, so his mother was the only parental figure in his immediate family. He also reportedly witnessed the drowning death of a childhood sweetheart, which traumatized him as well. But the most compelling stories Kelly told were about sexual abuse in his own childhood. Kelly's attorneys revealed to the court that he had been regularly sexually abused as a child, starting when he was only 6 or 7 years old. This abuse was at the hands of his older sister and the family's landlord at the time, and it happened weekly for many years. Renee Sorrentino, who is an assistant professor at Harvard, filed a letter to the court as part of the trial. Sorrentino maintained that the abuse that Kelly himself endured played a large part in turning him into the abusive adult he became. She said it created a hypersexuality in Kelly that made it more difficult for him to harness his sexual urges. She stopped short of diagnosing him with pedophilia, however, pointing out that his crimes weren't against prepubescent children. Oddly enough, another source of support for Kelly has come in the form of one of his alleged victims, Jocelyn Savage. According to prosecutors, Savage is one of the women who Kelly abused, but by her own account, Savage is not only supportive of Kelly but also claims the two are in love, and that they're engaged to be married. Her letter to the sentencing judge includes the fact that she does not consider herself a victim. Threats to the prosecution. In a bizarre twist of the case, a man named Christopher Gunn was recently arrested for making threats to the prosecuting attorneys in Kelly's trial. Gunn, who reportedly had been at the trial, though not officially a part of it, in Brooklyn, made a threatening video in October that he posted to his YouTube channel. This was right after R. Kelly was found guilty of his 9 counts. In the video, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York was shown, which is where the 3 female U.S. attorneys prosecuting R. Kelly work. A voice is heard over the photo of the office, essentially telling the viewer that it was the workplace location of these women, and threatening to storm the office. The voice, which was identified as Gunn's, continues, asking them to just bail out, and it threatens violence if they don't. Evidence against Gunn also included Cash App transactions in the first half of 2021 that included buying a firearm. The transactions reportedly showed enough of a link to the R. Kelly case for them to show probable cause and arrest Gunn. According to police, Gunn planned to be at the sentencing and even had told others online of a specific spot for supporters to meet at near the court. R. Kelly's journey from Hitmaker to accusations of child pornography. In November of 1993, R. Kelly released his first album, 12 Play. He became an immediate sensation, in part due to the success of his singles from that album, Sex Me and Bump and Grind. The following year, he secretly and illegally married singer Aaliyah, who was only 15 at the time. Tragically, Aaliyah died in a plane crash in 2011 at the age of 22. In November of 1996, the movie Space Jam came out, and on its soundtrack was R. Kelly's legendary anthem, I Believe I Can Fly. It hit number 2 on the charts and won him several Grammy Awards. Riding high on the success of that song, R. Kelly married one of the dancers in his touring show, Andrea Lee. They eventually had 3 kids. But trouble began to rear its head in 1996 when a high school student named Tiffany Hawkins comes forward and sues Kelly for $10 million. She claimed that they had been having sex since she was 15 and R. Kelly was 24. The suit is settled for $250,000, with Kelly not admitting to wrongdoing. Then, in 2001, Tracy Sampson, a former intern for Epic Records, also files a suit against R. Kelly. She claims they had a sexual relationship, but that it was illegal due to R. Kelly's status at the record label. This suit would also settle for $250,000. In 2002, a video was leaked that purported to show Kelly engaged in sexual acts with a minor, and later he's indicted on child pornography charges because of it. He pleads not guilty. Then, in 2005, his wife, Andrea Kelly, tells police that R. Kelly hit her after she told him she wanted to end their marriage, and asks for a protective order against him. 5 years after the initial child pornography charges are brought against R. Kelly, his trial begins, and he's acquitted on all the counts. This was several years before the charges were brought against R. Kelly that he now awaits sentencing for. So clearly this has been a long time coming, as Kelly went from a singing superstar to a man waiting to find out about the length of his prison sentence. The story of R. Kelly is certainly a heartbreaking one. While no amount of trauma can forgive someone's behavior, it does at least explain its potential origins, and it shows the importance of protecting children, not only for their own well-being and health, but also to help make sure they are less likely to continue the pattern of abuse when they grow up. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think R. Kelly will spend the rest of his life in prison? Let us know in the comments below, and before you go, make sure to give the video a like, and subscribe to Trender if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all of our latest content.